Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Truth and Transparency. Today is Sunday all day, and it is August 24th, 2025. My name is Lana, and I'll be your host, as always. Now, I was very new when I heard the term Vampire Diaries. Um, I've heard the movie of Twilight. I'm a big fan of The Lost Boys. Love Kiefer Sutherland. Love Michael in the movie. Love the way Kiefer Sutherland says the word Michael. But when it comes to the Vampire Diaries, um, total virgin, never saw an episode, not one. Didn't even know that the series existed until it came out in the discovery that the girls, Bethany and Dylan, the surviving roommates, were watching the Vampire Diaries. Now, I found something interesting on the internet. And there's this girl, here she is, who did 15 minutes, okay? Um, 15 minutes of a review of the ultimate tears, okay? I was feeling epic episode reaction. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?" I about fell over in my chair about what this is. Watch this.
You can't die. Not yet.
So there's a woman that has, or a girl, I don't know how you want to describe her, has a YouTube channel and watches parts of the episodes and has reactions to them and ultimate tears.
You have to live and I know and hold and have children and grandchildren. I'm okay. I can be with Enzo. No, this is wrong. Helena. I'm ready. Oh, why are you making sacrifices?
My God. Oh my God, what are we watching?
Sorry, love. That's what you told me. He just came out of nowhere.
Oh my God. What? He just came out of nowhere. I know, like this series just came out of nowhere for me.
No. Rude. You gotta be kidding me. Catherine. Hello, brothers. Tonight's series finale of the Vampire Diaries.
Oh my God. Dude, this was like what I did with the 90210 series. Okay. Melrose Place, 90210, Dawson's Creek, Friends, Party of Five. What did I get myself into? Okay. Dude, wow. Okay. Let's get into what this episode is about. This episode is about the fact that Dylan and Bethany both at one point or another say that they were watching the series Vampire Diaries, okay, with their friend that starts with an L. And she was actually one of the people that was sitting there when the cops rolled up to 1122 King Road. And I was like, okay, so they're watching Vampire Diaries. Then I hear them say that Vampire Diaries is not like nothing, like the show isn't, there's no violence in the show. Wait, what? There's hella violence in the show. What do you mean? Oh, and by the way, I used to have general hospital watch parties at 3:00 every single day. We would start our college like pre-gaming to GH. And actually that's where the name Jax came from, Jasper Jax. So everybody asked me if I named my child after Jax Teller from Sons of Anarchy. And I'm like, no. I'm way more original than that. If you know who Jasper Jax is, now you know. Anyways, so Yeah, Sonny or Jax. Sonny or Jax. So I was reviewing over you can't say testimonies, their declarations, their statements to the police. And then we come across I'm here to save you, or I'm here to help you, rather. And do you guys know that in Vampire Diaries, there are at least 3 episodes, 3 in the final season. So season 8, okay, is the final season. And there are multiple times that the quotes, I put it on a page, I put it on my community page for you guys. Oops. I put it on my community page for you guys to see the dialect. And so I'll read it for you guys. So if you go to my community page, it's under posts in the community section. And it says, Stefan says, Karen, hey, we're going to be okay. Then Karen says, oh God, no. Then Stefan says, no, it's okay. I'm here to help. Then Caroline, then Karen says, get away from me. And Stefan says, it's okay. I'm here to help you. I'm like reading this and I'm like, what? What? Then Caroline, she's here. Caroline, Stefan? Stefan's like, no. Save her now. Caroline says, come on, you have to drink. Then they're sucking this blood or whatever. There we go. Good. Groans. You're going to be fine. Just stay here. And I'm like, oh my God. So now we just got the discovery. So we all start looking into, obviously, Vampire Diaries. Let's look up these episodes. Let's see what's in these episodes. The police knew the episode, or I should say the series. And you're going to sit here and tell me that no one from the police department thought that maybe we should see what they were watching. I mean, like, it's a simple Google search, like they did in the Delphi case by experts on the stand. Just a simple Google search. Okay. Again, if you go to my community page, you will see the dialect, and it says, Stefan, the guy, says, no, it's okay. I'm here to help. Then he goes on to say, it's okay. I'm here to help you. Okay. Now, this is the point of it. Dylan 100% said she didn't know if she was dreaming something. She didn't know what was real, what wasn't. And Ashley over here, Jennings, is like, we know it's real. Well, it happened. No. But what you're not understanding is we're not talking about the scenario. Okay, yeah, 4 people have been stabbed to death. Okay. Well, Vampire Diaries is all people stabbing people. Okay. This isn't people getting shot up on the block and you're watching Boys in the Hood. Okay. This is people are stabbing each other, blood all over hands. Okay. But Dylan was talking about what she thought that she heard or saw, things like that. That's more like if she dreaming it. Or remember her friend said when she was interviewed that Dylan was on the couch coming in and out of things. She had a blanket on, and in one of the pictures, it looked like Dylan, like she was sleeping on the couch. Well, go back to all of this, and Dylan is reciting and saying literally the phrase, I'm here to help you. It's okay. It's okay. I'm here to help you. Now, let me ask you a question. How would Brian Kohlberger, or anybody for that matter, but let's go with Brian Kohlberger, okay? How would Brian Kohlberger possibly know that the girls watched Vampire Diaries, number one, that they were on season 8, okay, and that he would use the same terminology that the show uses? Explain that to me. How would he know that? If Brian Kohlberger really said, I'm here to help you, it's okay, I'm here to help you. So he just happened to say, the same exact quote that the girls were watching a show of just merely a couple hours earlier. You would know as an officer and you would be interviewing, you would come back and say, hey, you said you were watching Vampire Diaries, right? Okay. Well, in this episode or a couple episodes of season 8, this is the stuff that's going on. This is the stuff that's being said. Okay. So you would play and you would show them like, oh my gosh, yeah, hold on. That's not right. Like, see if that person would catch and be like, oh my gosh, wait a second. Yeah. Like, to say like, I didn't recognize the voice. Well, is the voice Stefan? Like, what do you mean you didn't recognize the voice? It's, what are the odds? What are the odds of that happening? That literally Dylan is quoting Vampire Diaries. And I just think it over.
Am I drinking alone?
Where's Elena?
Dead. A spiritual coma, if we're getting technical.
Her physical body. Where is it?
That's for me to know, to you. Duh.
Damn it, Catherine. Where is she?
It really is the perfect revenge. At 10 p.m., Mystic Falls will burn. Precious Elena will burn. And I'm guessing one of you two saboteurs are going down with her. Should I place my bets now?
Stabbed her mom, stabbed. Yeah, her mom's body's gonna get sucked into hell.
Okay. What is in the car?
Her mom's house.
Grab the baby books. Got to. Once that last bell rings, this stupid town will go up in flames and everybody will go poof. Well, they'll burn alive first, but then their ashes will go poof.
You know, Penny doesn't look good in a woman your age, Catherine.
No, I'm not being petty, I'm gloating.
You know, you're jealous of Elena. I'm just sure of that.
Because I would. Any woman would. Stefan.
Oh,
And you're not.
no.
Like that breaks the compulsion. Because I am the big brother. Sorry I wasn't better at it until now. I said, go.
I'm sorry, but this girl has me rolling over here. I was like, this is real. She does this. She like does reenactments of this show of Vampire Diaries. And I'm like, ultimate tears is what got me. I'm like, yeah, they were just flowing. Ultimate tears. Somebody needs to hire her. Oh my God, the big boom. I heard a big boom and then a flash. I was watching the last episode of Vampire Diaries. I heard a big boom and then a flash. Well, that's what it, I mean, come on, man. But this was supposedly being watched upstairs on the second level. Okay. Not in bed. Okay. I'm just here to inform everybody. If I'm going to do, if I'm going to talk about something, I'm going to do my research, and something that the cops did not do. This is absolutely unbelievable. And no, it's not a knock to Dylan. I'm sorry, but like, that's what she remembers hearing. Okay. But all you would have to say, all you would see as a police officer is that, okay, wow, this is from that show. Okay. This is from that show. So they didn't hear this part with the killings. You know what I mean? It's just differentiating. Okay. And Ann Taylor's probably over here like, this is wild. Okay. I've never watched this show either. So I had to do my digging. All right. But there's an explosion, flash of light.
Desmatos incendia mover. Ego es vos. Vos es unos.
And then there's this girl just crying. What is she doing? Anyways, I think you guys get the point, right? Do you need more? The quote is, again, Stefan says, Stefan goes, "It's okay. I'm here to help you." And then Caroline, she says, "She's here," and starts grunting. And then Caroline says, "Stefan?" And then Stefan says, "No, no, 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 no. Save her now." And then Caroline says, "Come on, you have to drink." But before all of that, Stefan says, "It's okay. I'm here to help you." Again, "It's okay. I'm here to help you." In like verbatim. So this is all straight from this show, straight from Vampire Diaries. Every quote, you know,
Pooh.
hear that big like explosion? It's pretty wild, right? Okay, I got more. Okay. Now, to be fair, which everybody should be fair, is that Dylan's saying what she heard. Okay. Dylan says, I didn't hear any big firework or firecracker or big boom or anything like that. Okay. So Dylan doesn't hear that. Bethany does. Okay. Blaker writes in his report that Blaker must have done a little bit of homework, but doesn't tell anybody he does a little bit of homework. And Blaker, when he goes and re-asks questions, and he's with Victoria Gooch from the Idaho State Police, it's in a report, and it's in Victoria Gooch's written report. Blaker should have a written report as well. And he gets some clarifying. Remember Bethany was, when you went downstairs in your bedroom, he writes that now this is when he interviewed through Nevada State Police, Blaker writes down that he got her to clarify some things. And it was all about when she went to bed, what did you go to bed? Were you watching something? And, oh yeah, I was watching Vampire Diaries down there and I watched the last episode. Well, that's not leading. I don't know what is, okay? So, and now think about it. So Blaker gets Bethany to now say that she went downstairs, and when she went to her room downstairs, that she used her iPad to watch the last episode of season 8, which is this one right here. It's it says 8 times 16. That means it's the 8th season, 16th episode. Okay. So the reason, and the only reason that Blaker could possibly say to Bethany, "Hey, what were you watching when you went to bed down in your room?" Well, Bethany never said that she went down there and was watching TV. Oh yeah, I got on my iPad and I watched the last episode of Vampire Diaries. But both parties, Dylan and Bethany, said that there was nothing violent in those shows. I don't know who could possibly say that. That all they do is stabbing people with knives and blood, and I think that's pretty violent. So with that said, it then correlates to Bethany's boom that she heard. It's in episode 16, and I just showed it to you guys. The big boom. And
You've never no.
I did it.
Bonnie. No.
I need to go for the exclusive.
If Bonnie's dead, I literally don't know what to do in my life.
Hi.
Hi. What happened? Why am I here right now?
I don't know about Bonnie, but Damon, Damon wanted to sacrifice everything. To save you. To save this town. He was ready. I'm human now. He compelled me to leave. Go. But he should have known better. I would never walk a day on this earth as a human without taking vervain.
I don't understand.
Not long now. Demon spawn. I can hear that fire coming back this way.
You love this, don't you?
You have no idea.
I gave him my blood. The cure.
You in.
Okay, then you find out that there was a diary taken from one of the girls' rooms. I just can't get over this chick, though. Sorry, I was watching it because I wanted to see her reactions. But here we go. I'm going to show you guys. I think you guys get the picture. Okay. Now I'm just curious. There's 1,000 people in chat, 1,100 people in chat. How many people have seen this series before? Because I've never watched it, so I had to do my research. Okay. Anybody? I mean, do we have like a lot of fans out there? No, yep, I haven't. No, I'm just reading. No, yes, no, yes. No, my daughters watch it. Okay, no. Nope, never, yeah. So, never, and I'm proud. Yes, more than, she says, yes, the whole series. There you go. I was just curious. Yes, Mama J's like, yes, I loved it. Okay. All right, so now, when it gets revealed right here to everybody right now, and I just showed you guys that, hey, this series says all of these statements that Dylan said. Okay. And there's this like big boom and a flash fire, whatever. Do you guys think that this has anything to do with what Dylan and Bethany are talking about?
My door because I was so scared. And then I heard someone in the bathroom and I heard her crying and I heard some guy say that you're going to be okay, I'm going to help you. And I kept calling her name, but she wasn't answering. And then I opened the door for a second and I saw this guy and he was not insanely tall, but he was wearing all black and like this mask which is covering his forehead and his mouth.
Well, get in town. We've got a quadruple homicide.
We don't know what's going on. I saw the guy. Someone's in the room. Did they tell you anything? They were dressed out like 4 of them. They were in the main room.
This is one of the.
Pretty much they were in the main room. I heard the dancing and laughing. Kaylee went upstairs and she screamed because someone's in the room. She ran downstairs. And I kept calling her name and she wouldn't answer. And then I saw the guy. I locked the door and I ran downstairs. We don't know what's going on.
Can you come here with me, please?
Break Fire 3170. Could you guys grab some blankets for all these people out here?
Oh, okay.
Okay. So there's a couple of things I want you guys to pay attention to one last time. Is pay attention to the order of events, because the order of events says that Kaylee and the roommates were called prior to something that's really, really important. And that would be before seeing the man.
I'm going to get your name and information. Just 1 second. We'll get you a blanket and stuff, all right? Thanks, guys. Yeah, yeah, thanks. Yeah, we'll get something for her. Yes?
Yes.
What's that address?
Yes.
Okay. How much have you seen in that?
No, I don't really know. I just saw my friend when I called because we were so scared. We're like, can you please come help us? And that's all I saw. Told us not to go in. That man right there. That helped show you around.
They're big on there.
Yeah, and that's when he told us he needed to call the cops.
Do you mind just waiting over there for me, please? Okay. Now I overheard you talking about last night.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to, the more we know right now, the better. We can start this process.
Yeah.
Somebody will probably be revisiting this interview with you very soon. Again. Okay. So you're probably going to have to retell the story.
That's fine.
All right. What do you remember seeing? What started?
I remember I was in my room and I was trying to go to bed and I heard Kaylee, who ex-girlfriend, who has a dog in her.
Real fast. Which one is your room?
Kaylee.
Which one is your room?
Oh,
what room are you in?
See, she says, I was trying to go to sleep. She didn't say that she woke up out of a sleep. I was trying to go to sleep. That would be way earlier. I was trying to look around by the garbage cans too to see if
my room, not Xana's room. My room.
And your room is this one right here.
Next to the stairs. That one is Xana's room.
Second floor room.
Second floor.
Okay.
All I heard was I heard her go upstairs. Like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now because she's going upstairs.
And you heard who go upstairs?
Kaylee and the dog Murphy.
right there. Okay, I heard her go upstairs, so I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now.
And upstairs to the very top?
Oh
yeah,
my
that's
God.
Where her room is.
Okay.
That just woke me up.
And then all of a sudden I heard her walking up. I heard her scream and she ran upstairs.
All of a sudden when I heard her walking up, so this isn't like a bunch of time had passed or anything like that. This is as I heard her walking up, listen again to the words.
Okay.
That just woke me up.
And then all of a sudden I heard her walking up. I heard her scream and she ran upstairs because she saw someone. That's what I'm
All of a sudden I heard a scream. Because she saw someone.
pretty sure she said someone's here, and she screamed and just ran downstairs. And I called for her name, but I jumped up and locked my door because I was so scared. And
everybody knows that can't be a possible order, right? That's not like a human reaction. Your door's right there. Your door's right next to the stairs. You hear that, you'd open up your door to see what's going on. Okay, you'd have to open up your door, see what's going on. Then you would shut your door, and then you would lock your door because you would be so confused, like you wouldn't go to lock your door. I'm sorry, but that just wouldn't be the natural reaction.
I heard someone in the bathroom and I heard her crying, and I heard some guy say that you're going to be okay, I'm going to help you. And I kept calling her name, but she wasn't answering. And then I opened the door for a second and I saw this guy.
She says, I opened the door for a second, not a second time. Okay. She says, I opened the door for a second.
And he was not insanely tall, but he's wearing all black and like this mask, which is covering his forehead and his mouth. And I locked the door and I called, and I didn't know what to do.
This was at 4
a.m. Yes. Okay. And so then I just ran down to
She says this is at like 4 a.m. And he has her break this down again and go in order.
You left here?
Yeah, I left my room down to she's that one with the white blinds at the very bottom. Okay. I ran down there and we talked, and we just locked the door. We didn't think anything of it. We're like, nothing happens in Moscow, so we just like tried to go to bed. And then we woke up, and it was weird because none of our roommates were up, and we called all of them. They were not waking up, and so me and like, this is weird. So I called and to come over, and then that's when all this happened.
Who all lives here with you?
Me. That blonde right there. Okay.
Who's Santa?
Santa is the girl in there.
Is the girl that lives this far?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How do you spell her name?
K-A-E-R. Okay. Ethan who's in there. He doesn't actually live here, but he's here like almost all the time.
There's a male that lives here, and
he doesn't actually live there. He's in the room with Santa, I believe.
He's in there right now.
But he doesn't live here, but he's here a lot. And then there's Maddie, Mogan, and Kaylee up top. I don't know where they're at now.
Maddie?
Mogan. Maddie Mogan. And
Maddie Mogan.
Yeah.
And who?
Kaylee Gonzalez. She's the girl that I was talking about, Kaylee, who I just heard go upstairs and run back downstairs.
Okay. And the guy that lives here, his name was what?
No, I didn't know. I had no idea he was here.
Okay. All right, describe the guy that you saw.
I don't think he was a little bit taller than me. And I couldn't really see much of him, but I'm almost positive he was wearing a full black outfit. And he had this mask that was just over his forehead and over his mouth, and he didn't say anything to me, like, at all. I just shut the door and locked it, because I didn't know what to do. And I think he went out, like, the side door, the sliding door in the kitchen that goes out to the backyard.
Okay.
And then I didn't know anything else, so I called, and I was like, I just need to come downstairs and find you, because I don't know where anyone else is. And I called Maddie, I called Dana, I called Kaylee, no one would answer.
Okay. All right. Rosina, do you know how old she is? Do you have any contact information for her?
That glove is right there. That glove is right there. He's a liar. Liar.
There's a guy, black mask, was in there. She didn't recognize him. Ask her who's to see. Okay. And all for their names, and then all. How old is Ethan?
We don't know.
Okay. Who has access to that room? CHAP.
No, Santa's date of birth.
Okay. See, but pretty sure he's in that room.
I think so. I think it's left. Told me. I don't know for sure.
All right, and then the two additional roommates that aren't here right now.
They're not.
That aren't here with you.
Yeah.
What are their names?
Maddie Mogan. YLLA or 21. Sorry, I don't remember.
It's okay. You're doing great. You know, I'm asking a lot of you, so I appreciate you. You're doing very well.
Do you know if the other two girls are upstairs or not?
I don't know. Okay, let's go back. I just want to make sure we're getting everything. So you're sure at about 4 this morning?
Yes, it was 4:10.
You first noticed a guy.
Well, I first noticed Kaylee go upstairs and scream and run downstairs.
So 4 this morning, went upstairs.
Yeah.
To the way top.
Yes, to her room with Murphy the dog.
Okay. And then you heard Kaylee scream?
I heard her scream and run as fast as she could downstairs, and she said someone's here.
She ran downstairs?
Yes, I could hear. You can hear everything. I heard her run downstairs really fast. And then I heard Murphy barking a lot.
Okay.
Okay, if you go and you watch 1122 or 1112, the surveillance camera, at 4:02, a dog starts barking. 4:02. These cops don't record anything.
I think it was the bathroom, and I remember her sobbing, And I just remember hearing this guy's voice, and I didn't recognize saying, "You're gonna be okay, I'm gonna help you." But it wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it wasn't in like a nice way. It was like a weird way, like a weird tone.
You're gonna be okay. I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
Okay, now take a listen. Now, this is my thoughts. If this happened during watching the show, because you're in and out, because you're falling asleep, waking back up, and you're hearing that, right? That would be you associating watching Vampire Diaries at a way earlier time. Okay? When that girl is over and they're watching Vampire Diaries prior to Maddie and Kaylee coming home at 2 a.m. Getting there right before 2 a.m. The girl that went to the house with Dylan was taking like selfies and pictures and stuff like that. And in one of the pictures, you could see that Dylan has a blanket and she's on the couch.
And you didn't hear anything from Kaylee anymore?
No, after that, I didn't hear anything. So then I kept calling for her name. I called on my phone, I called Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee. None of them answered.
Right there. She's going to tell us that when after she was calling out her name and she wasn't answering, then she's calling. She's making these phone calls, okay? And then listen to what she says after she makes these phone calls.
So then I opened up the door to look, and that's when I saw the guy pass by. He looked at me, but he didn't come towards me.
Right there. She made the phone calls before she saw the man. And this is why I believe that Ann Taylor says that this is not an exhaustive list of DMs, calls, or texts, or anybody's calls or texts that day when she puts it out there, because she's not going to give the prosecution all of what they know. Okay? So, again, just for you guys to hear it.
So then I kept calling for her name. I called on my phone, I called Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee. None of them answered. So then I opened up the
door. She doesn't say that she called Bethany. Okay? She doesn't say that she called Ethan. She called the 3 girls. And then she says right here, and then I opened my door.
On my phone, I called Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee. None of them answered. So then I opened up the door to look, and that's when I saw the guy pass by. He looked at me, but he didn't come towards me or say anything, which was really confusing to me. I don't understand that. And I'm pretty sure he went out the side door. And then I called.
What?
And
for her to already be thinking about that, in my opinion, that you're already processing, like, why didn't this person come towards me type of thing. Okay. But right there, that's your order. Okay. Which is, so then I go back and I read the motions that Ann Taylor filed. And so therefore, if you didn't start calling anybody, okay, that means that your window now of when you would have saw this person, it has to be after you made the phone calls. So if you look at the phone records to see when she called Kaylee, Xana, Maddie, go look at the phone records. And that she would have seen the person after she made those 3 phone calls. Well, guess when that is? Because this is how the records show. The records show that Bethany called Dylan first. Then Dylan calls the 3 people that she just says. Okay. Then she would have opened the door to then have seen the masked man, which means Bethany actually alerted Dylan. Okay. If Bethany calls first, okay. Bethany calls first, and this is why Bethany has to have a reason why she called first. Oh, because I heard a firecracker, a big boom. Okay. But Bethany calls Dylan's phone first. Then Dylan calls through the 3 people. Then she would have seen the masked man in the way that she's saying this. And then that's when Dylan then calls Bethany back and they talk. And then after they talk on the phone, then she recalls people and then they're texting.
And she thought maybe there was a fire or like a firework. We didn't know. She heard this loud noise and there was a light, I guess.
Did you hear like a pop, like a bang?
I don't know. Did you hear a bang?
It's what she heard.
Okay.
What?
And said she thought maybe there was a fire or like a firework. We didn't know. She heard this loud noise and there was a light, I guess.
Did you hear like a pop, like a bang?
I don't know. Did you hear a bang?
It's what she heard.
Okay.
It's what she heard.
Okay, never mind. You sit there. I didn't hear that.
Okay, now check this out. If you're just joining.
Like, you should never thought about it.
I did it.
You did it. You should never. No.
I did it.
Honey. No.
Maybe you can go for the exclusive.
The Bonnie said I literally don't know what. Honey, please, you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. No, you can do this.
Voces unos.
Flashbang. Wow. Okay.
Hey, where are you going right now?
I'm just going to pick up my phone.
Okay. Where's your friend live?
Where's your phone?
Oh, man.
To the left, please. Okay.
I don't think I ever heard a bang. I didn't think anything about fire or firework.
Or
Until
gunshot.
I told her. I don't think I heard anything of that. And I also was kind of in and out of it because I was scared and I was really tired.
I was in and out of it because I was really scared and I was really tired. Nothing about alcohol. Okay.
That's when I called and I told her, I need to come to your room because she was the only one that was answering me. So I just ran down there and for a second I stopped and I saw it.
She didn't say that she needed to come to her room. If you read the text messages, which neither one of these girls talk about the fact that they were texting while this was happening, you know, and it was Bethany that said, you know, come down to my room, run down here now.
And I passed out and I thought maybe she was just like sleeping or something. I didn't think anything because I was so out of it. And I went to the room and we just fell asleep. And then we woke up this morning and no one was waking up at all. Like no one was answering, which was really weird because all of us wake up around like 9 or 10. And then I called
Well, if you didn't wake up until like 11 or 11:30, you wouldn't know if they were up or not at 9 or 10.
to come check. And he came here first. And I told him what happened. And then I looked in the room and he said he needed to get out and called the cops.
Okay. So my take is you're associating this show, right, with what transpired. And is there a chance then that the text messaging actually is occurring because it's actually after the fact? For whatever reason, because you woke up because the dog was barking, which would wake me up, which would wake anybody up. And then you're trying to remember back, oh wait, I heard this and I heard this, but you're remembering what you heard being said because of that show. But if you actually woke up because the dog being, barking, right? And then you see everything and then you start texting at that point, or then that car driving away. I think that's where Ann Taylor was going with everything, which is like, you have no idea what car was driving away, but I know that I'd get the hell out of there. Who would get the hell out of there? Everybody would have got the hell out of there. So, bottom line is that this episode is to introduce to everybody that the cops would have and should have known immediately when they're talking about Vampire Diaries, and that's what people were watching. You would have looked into what Vampire Diaries is, what's going on in those episodes, and lo and behold, the same exact quote that Dylan gives is quoted from the show numerous times in season 8, which is the last season. And there's a flash bang. I just showed it to you guys, okay? And Ann Taylor is saying, and now it makes perfect sense to me why she's saying it, is she's saying what the girls are saying back and forth in text is not in real time. I mean, it is in real time, but it's not because of what's happening in real time. Blaker asks Bethany what time she shut off her TV or her iPad. Okay. And she said, yeah, by at least before 3. So then that would mean that everything that would have gone on in that episode. Okay. And if you're going to assimilate things, like you're looking, it's before that. And then you have to throw in the fact that if Jack Showalter is a main suspect and he does not drive a white Honda Elantra, and you're still considering him a main suspect up and through at least December 6th, if not further and longer, you know that he does not drive a white Honda Elantra. Okay. But who did you think that Jack could have been involved with this? And there's another name. And what did they drive? Or were 2 different people working on 2 different investigations because one set of people knew more than the other set of people? But if everything is reliant on the footage, and where Hippler says that the person that you want to bring in third-party culprits but they don't drive a white Honda Elantra, it's like, the police knew that Jack Showalter didn't drive a white Honda Elantra. When? It's immediately. Okay. And he was still a person of interest, a very, very, like, that was their number one. And they knew that as early on because it was said on 11/23 that it was a 5th generation, or it was a white Honda Elantra or a silver. And then it became on 11/25 confirmed that that's what they want to put in the BOLO in 2011 to 2013. But they don't use any of the camera footage around the house to determine that. They use a camera on Ridge Road. And so why wouldn't Jack Showalter drop off as a person of interest if he does not drive a white Honda Elantra? And they knew that he didn't. He drives a BMW 3 Series. It goes to show you that that's why Ann Taylor was saying you knew that that was not suspect vehicle 1 on Ridge Road, that was my client's car, because you had it pegged for somebody else. Ann Taylor has been around a long time, and she knows how they operate, and she knows that they're not good at their jobs, and they make really big blunders because they do things that they shouldn't do. which is making probable cause to get in and do stuff where they shouldn't. Like how they got into Jack Showalter's apartment is bullshit. Okay. But guess what that just did? That just made it so that when you actually end up arresting somebody and going to prosecute somebody, everything that you did leading up to that point of arresting the person that you did is all going to come back and bite you in the ass. Jack Showalter, I would love to hear his testimony on, did you call and ask for the maintenance people to check the water? What? No. Oh, you didn't? No. They would look at his phone records and see if he called. Look at his emails. See if he emailed in through the rental agency's management company. That's how they got into Jack Showalter's apartment. Maintenance people happened to call the police and say, "Hey, I got a call at this apartment. Went in to check the water quality. Then happened to come across. I see a little bit of blood, a spatter, and I'm going to call the police and tell them this." And then the police were like, "Oh, wow, that was just at the apartment that is Jack Showalter's and that we're looking into." Wow. Talk about a miracle. And so they used that then to get in, and then they actually took a picture of Jack Showalter's vans, the bottom of his vans. They put some chemical on it. Then actually they took, which was 6 swabs, not 4, if you actually read the documents. So when Payne says that he hit the parenthesis button, blah, 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 well, he should have been writing that there was actually 6 swabs. And you guys can go find that in the ISP supplemental reports when Jeff Talbot writes up his report on the matter versus Payne. And then here, when Dylan is being interviewed, you can see the glove that's literally laying right next to the garbage can. And so when Payne writes in his reports for the MPD 314 reports, Payne says, "I went and used Noonan's body cam to look at the scene again to see if the glove was there." He lied. He fucking lied. Why are we lying? This has nothing to do about Brian Culver saying if he's innocent or guilty. The dude stood up and said, "I did it." Take him at his word. What we're talking about is why are we lying? Why? How does an officer not hear this, see this? What everybody did on the internet when we found out that they were watching Vampire Diaries, what did everybody go and do? They went and Googled all the episodes. Every investigation like your integrity on that investigation is how do you think what do you think helped Karen Reed get acquitted? Because they all lied. Think about this. If you're a juror, okay, you have taillight that belongs to Karen Reed, and nobody was disputing that it was not Karen Reed's taillight. At the scene, sprinkled all in the area of where the car supposedly dropped off John. If you are acquitting Karen Reed of murder in that case, do you know what that means? Again, nobody was disputing. Not the defense. They weren't saying that that's just not the right taillight, that's somebody else's taillight. No. They were saying that, oh, that's her taillight, and it was planted. Because what did they show? Oh, the tow truck came actually an hour earlier than Michael Proctor put in his report. Why? Because they didn't want to say that they were in and that they had access to that car for as long as they did. Then they're holding on to videos and not turning them over to the defense. Okay. All of these things, what they add up to, guys, is they add up to reasonable doubt. The investigation is flawed because, wow, we can't trust it. We can't trust it. The scene of at John O'Keefe's scene, It was never roped off. Nobody was there protecting it, watching it, having a log, nothing. And remember, they kept going back to the scene of Karen Reed and finding new evidence, just like they did in this case. Just like they did here in this case. They kept going back, breaking the seal, going into the house on 11/13, then 11/14, then 11/18, then 11/19, then 11/22 or 23, then 11/25, 12/1, 12/3, 12/7, 12/8. And each time you're supposed to take, obviously you log yourself there, you log yourself leaving. You're taking videos of when you arrived, you're taking pictures of when you arrived, then you're taking pictures of whatever you did while you were there to take something, okay? And you're going to sit here and tell us that nobody saw that glove. Now think about why this glove is so important. The glove that's next to the garbage can, it has blood on it. That blood gets tested, and that blood does not come back to being male A, which is Brian Culver. It's not his blood. It's not the victim. It's an unknown male D. Unknown male D. Now, people are going to say, oh, it's one of those officers that, did you guys see, Lana? He took off his gloves and I think he missed the garbage can. No. Roll back tape. Number one, look again. But more importantly, number two, are you going to sit here and tell me that an officer had blood that was his own on that glove when he was at the scene? Because if it was an officer, you should expect the blood to be what? The victim's blood? Not an unknown male D. Also, chain of custody becomes a big important thing when you're talking about, for example, the Sheath. If it wasn't for Othram, this case never gets solved. 100%. I don't believe that you're able to prosecute. You can say that, we would have found him eventually because we were under the cars and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, I guess, yeah, in Idaho, because you guys get search warrants and you lie about probable cause. Okay. But why aren't they releasing Cyray's report yet? Wait till they release Cyray's report. Okay. If Judge Hippler wants to be fair, release whatever it is that you're releasing, get to the stuff, get to Cyray's report, and release Cyray's report. Release Balance's report and release Cyray's report. Release Josiah Roloff's report and release Tom Scolinski's report. Okay? That's why you'll never get to him any other way, in my opinion. But we have unknown male D blood on a glove that was there, not afterwards, but this body cam proves that that glove was there before. Next, how does blood get onto the White's apartments, which is right across the street, which is where Hunter Johnson lives, which is where Emily lives, those people live? How does blood, which Gunderson writes a report on 11/14, because he's over there, and he says that there is blood on the second level on the deck at the White's. Who swabbed it? Nobody. Who did anything with that? How is there blood over there? You need to know whose blood it is. You need to know if it's from the victims, because Hunter, when he was going and checking, his foot, stepped in, and then therefore it trailed back, and he literally got it on to the fact that it would be on the deck of where he lives, all the way at the top right before he walks in. The Sheath. So on the first day, 11/13, they processed the scene and they processed 56 items, which I cannot believe that they did not take the urine sample from the toilet as one of those 56 samples. They never tested the urine that was in the toilet that had toilet paper in there with, I hate to say this, a shit stain, whatever, that was on the second level. The reason that that's important, in my opinion, is nobody said they were upstairs. Nobody said they went upstairs. Nobody said they used the bathroom. Okay. And so killers make mistakes all the time, right? Maybe somebody had to go to the bathroom and they went to the bathroom. Okay. If you know the Amanda Knox case, they used fecal matter from the toilet in that case. Anyways, which proved that there was another male in that case at that scene. And it was whoever Meredith was hanging out with. But going back to this scene, out of the 56 items, they did not take what was in the toilet. I think that it was a female because there's toilet paper in there. Most guys, if they're going to take a piss, don't use toilet paper. Okay. So out of the 56 items, one of them is the sheath. Those items don't get into the hands of Payne until after the strike of midnight, which then it becomes 11:14. The sheath, as well as all the other whatever Payne had, it went into a temporary storage facility at the MPD. Temporary. Okay. This is the same thing that happened in the John O'Keefe, Karen Reed case, where Proctor, they said, oh, we were laying items out to dry out. Okay. And so it was in temporary evidence. So from 12:10 a.m. on 11/14 until 11/16/2022, there's a report that you can find in the Idaho State Police dump that they just did of the 566 pages. And it belongs to a Chad Wilford, who works for the Idaho State Police. He was tasked with meeting with a girl named Casey Macy of the Idaho State Police to get the sheath, to transport it to Boise. This guy, Chad, from Idaho State Police, I never came across a Macy report from MPD that she's like signing this out to him. I then noticed in Chad's report, he says that he asked Corporal, it's like, I call him Tupperware, whatever you want to call him, but on 11/16, when he writes up this report, he says that he has this Corporal Tupperman meet him at the Idaho Transportation Department shed off of New Meadows, which is right there in Boise. He's transporting it to this other guy, okay, but then there's no report from Tupperman. Why wouldn't the guy take it to the lab, meaning Chad? Why would I say, hey, can you meet me off of New Meadows exit over here at the Idaho Transportation Department shed, and I'm going to give you this sheath or this item 11, for you to then, now where's this guy's report on who he then handed it to at the Idaho State Police lab? So that was one of my requests I just put into Matthew Gamet over there at the Idaho State Police, who's very thorough, and I appreciate his work. But if you want to find stuff out, you have to know what you're looking for. You have to know what to ask for. And ultimately, this sheath, because Othram, all they know is what they were given to test. They didn't get the sheath. Okay. They got what was extracted from the sheath that was then transported on the 18th. Okay. So think about this. On 11/16, when the sheath was being transported, right, which we're missing a chain, we're missing somebody's report. Then the sheath is allegedly, I guess, at Idaho State Police. They were able to extract, there's blood on it, right? But not the blood. They get a hit off of on the button snap. We don't know if it's the outie part or the innie part. But that portion was extracted. And then here there's this unknown male A, okay? And then between 11:16 to the point of 11:18, it was put into CODIS and there wasn't any hits. Okay. And then it's going to be transported by Blaker and a guy from ISP to fly out of Boise and to fly into Texas. Okay. Then get off a plane and then personally hand it to Woodlands in Texas on the 20th at like 3:30 in the afternoon. So come back for more of that. But this is wild in just the sense of mainstream media is out there pumping a narrative, talking about this is what the killer said. Okay. I don't care if you believe in Brian Culver's innocence or you don't, or you think he's guilty because, you know, he said he's guilty, which is when someone says something like that, I would believe them until if Brian Culver wanted to come back out and say, hey, I just said that so I didn't get murdered by a gun. Okay, well, you have the best attorneys. They're working their ass off for you. Why would you ever do that? Right? Doesn't make any sense. Maybe one day we'll know. But the killer, in my opinion, there's no way that they would be reciting the same exact words of Vampire Diaries. They have no idea that anybody's watching Vampire Diaries to like say those words and that would be what the killer's saying and that gets recited and that's the killer's words. It's not. That's absolutely absurd. And this episode proved to you everything that these two girls are talking about and what they heard and saw is this episode, are these episodes. I'm here to help you. It's going to be okay. I'm here to help you. It's over and over and over in episodes on season 8, repeatedly, at least in 3 episodes. So for anybody out there to associate that the killer, and nobody said the name Kaylee, saying, oh, he said Kaylee. Now I just think that you're tripping somebody up that's trying to stick to like, hey, this. So, and then go watch my episode from yesterday to show why mainstream media, why is anybody asking why they sped up the 1-hour video from 1112 that's supposed to be unaltered in its fashion that it was downloaded. Why did they speed up the time from the last loop when the car is coming past 1112? Somebody manipulated that video. That video would be inadmissible, and that's why Ann Taylor is saying that video was going to be inadmissible when she was talking about the Dateline leak. Yeah, well, guess what? They're putting stuff out there that's inadmissible. And Hitler's not understanding why. Ann Taylor was going to do a surprise attack on the stand about that. That's why it wasn't in. Okay, it's like how Alan Jackson did it. Do we go and suppress the Sallyport video, or do we use it to our advantage? What did Alan Jackson do? He used it to their advantage to show that this inverted video, it was to invert to the jury to show, hey, Proctor was never by the back side of the car, right? Well, what do you think Ann Taylor was going to do? Ann Taylor, they were playing the long game, meaning, listen, if we're not going to get any calls from this judge, okay, we are literally spoon feeding him, hey, this is this, this is this, this is this, this is this. They lied in the probable cause, which they did. This. There's timing advance records. They're acting like they don't have them. We have material that proves that they have Brian's timing advance records. They're still lying about it, right? Okay, well then we're going to save this big pie here at trial, and we're going to talk about who had access to that 1112 camera, as well as Linda Lane in the back end as a owner, from the owner standpoint. Who had the email password or the sign in with the login, who had the password, and then who could change things? Well, Mowry was given all of that information on 11/13. So much so that he didn't write it in a report, and then he had to go back days later after he saw that Ryan Schneider outed him, because Ryan Schneider put it in his report that he got the password and gave it to Mowry. So then Mowry then on the 17th and the 19th, he has to somehow fluff up his report on the 19th. It's very interesting how he does that. There was also the owners of 1112 would have been very, very key in proving that the video, what capacities they had to speed up and to make a video not move on like a 1 second, 2 second, but they got to speed it up. And do you know how to do that? Who manipulated this video? Because originally Mowry said that he couldn't get into whatever SD card they used and how he was given the material. They were unable to get into it. What? Oh, okay. And then you have Linda Lane. Linda Lane cameras miraculously are missing from 3:30 in the morning until 4:05. The most crucial point of these homicides. Linda Lane would prove so much because it's the cars coming and going on Taylor. Poof, 3:30 to 4:05, gone. And you have the owner saying it's because that time frame, there was every night we do a automatic reboot. An automatic reboot on just one camera, you have 4 cameras. Why wouldn't all of them do an automatic reboot for your system? And why would you ever pick that time frame versus 10 a.m. when so think about that. Think about the knowledge that somebody had. And who would have that type of knowledge on when cameras would be rebooting on daily? It's really interesting. But when did they get Jack Showalter's DNA? Again, Jack Showalter was a suspect even after them knowing that they pegged this as an Elantra. Ask yourselves that. And that's what should have been told to Hippler. But again, I think all of this is being saved for trial. Have no idea why it didn't go to trial. But at the end of the day, my questions are simply on an investigation. Because if it wasn't for Othram, and yeah, however they went ahead and did it with the FBI, and it was not to the standards of that you're getting into databases that you shouldn't have. That's the only way that they solved this case in terms of who the DNA is on the sheath. That's what they solved. Till next time, peace out.